Ages ago, our primordial ancestors came down from the trees. As we slowly adapted, our habits changed as well. As we evolved, we sought new ways to push ourselves and expand. Instead of moving upwards, we went out. Ever since then, life has been on the ground and not in the trees. Yet some of us today have not lost that spirit of our ancestors and sought to climb freely once again. As you can guess, my goal is centered in rock climbing, to bouldering to be specific. Yet my message is much more broad because, to be frank, not much of you care about bouldering and would rather not listen to me bore you about something you are not interested in. So what I am really here for is to help you succeed through explaining a method that I have learned in my experience bouldering. Now, although the whole talk will not be devoted to bouldering, a quick glance into the sport and its lexicon will help you as audience members understand my story and not get lost in my climbing slang. To sum up modern bouldering, it is a fairly new subsection of climbing that is known for its dynamic movement. Movement that is fluid and often requires a climber to get past a certain section or move. In the 1950s, a guy named John Gill, an avid climber and gymnast, decided to combine the two sports he loved into something new. He called it modern bouldering. Using the upper body strength he had gained in gymnastics, he was able to envision a whole new way to climb, and that led to modern bouldering. Now, for all of those who have zoned out, this next section is vital. It makes the rest of the speech make sense, and if you tune out this part of my speech, you are going to be confused at what I am talking about later on. In bouldering, some language climbers use as first a route, aka a problem. That is a term for any specific climb set up on a boulder. Another phrase used is to send, which means to complete a bouldering route. The third term is a project. That's the route that forces the climber to attempt a boulder problem multiple times and is often very difficult. This last section is on the way that routes are rated on bouldering. The scale they use goes from V0 to V16. And V16s are inconceivable for even skilled climbers. V0s are very easy. Now that you know what I am talking about, I will begin my story. I have been rock climbing for a couple of years now, and I think it is amazing. I have been progressing in skill rapidly. Recently, I have been shooting to send a route with a V8 difficulty. A V8 is considered on the borderline between advanced and expert, and sending a V8 is a significant accomplishment for any climber. So around last October, I started planning to send a V8. I decided to try some V8 routes at my local bouldering gym, and see how hard they were for me. I secretly hoped I would find an easy V8, make it my project, and send it within the month, hoping to finish this English project early. I had no such luck, and I knew I was not prepared to project a V8 yet.
So I began to train like I am doing here.
I found a V8 that was hard, but not too hard, and the training paid off. Yet it still was not a walk in the park. I felt much stronger, and I could see that I had improved, but I did not send my project on the first day or the next. I continually made it farther up the wall day by day, hold by hold, until I had finally succeeded. It is hard to express the satisfaction and joy of accomplishing something hard. Besides my training, I was also persistent and always climbing. I bouldered an average of 3 days every week, sometimes for as long as 5 hours a session. As January came, I felt I was ready to start projecting a V8. Yet my message was to tell you how you can succeed. My experiences in climbing have taught me a method which, when applied to life, can be used to help accomplish almost anything. I call it the 3-step method. The first step is to set a goal and do something hard. This can be anything, not just sports related. This, for me, was setting the V8. The second goal is to work hard at improving yourself to achieve your goal. This is the most broad of the 3 steps and is open to much interpretation. Yet my advice is to practice consistently. If you can make it a habit to practice, you will see benefits and improve drastically. For me, this was the training part of my journey. Now the third step is, once you feel you are close to completing your goal, commit fully and sprint for the finish. I have had many experiences where I've worked so very hard and come so close to finishing a route, but kept getting shut down on one part of that route. Instead of focusing on all that I had accomplished and how close I had come, I focused on what held me back, and I became frustrated and decided to find a new route. We are often afraid of hard work, but when we fully commit ourselves Truly then can we realize what our potential is. As Yoda states, do or do not, there is no try. We can all be normal when we try, but we are great when we do.